Let me share this with you. A business idea does not make you money. A business idea sitting in your head does nothing. The ideas have to get built. A lot of people keep looking for more business ideas because finding a new idea feels like progress. It feels good. You get a little bit excited and you can see what the business could become in the future. But then the real work shows up. You need a product. You need a service. You need a website. You need videos. You need a logo. You need a sales page. Maybe some software. Or maybe some packaging. And that is where a lot of good ideas stop. In this video, I'm going to show you a very simple way I look at business ideas. Pick one. Check if people want it, break it into clear work, then get the right people to build it. Stop collecting ideas and start building one. Most people think they need a better idea. A lot of the times, they don't. They need a better way to get the idea built. This is what happens. You find a business idea you like, then you make a list, a website, a logo, social media, product pictures, email, research, maybe a software app. Then you look at the list and think, I guess I have to learn all of this? So you start watching videos on web design, then video editing, then ads, then SEO, then AI, then something completely different. Months can go by and the business is still sitting at the idea level. The problem is not that you're lazy. The problem is that you made yourself the person who has to do everything. That slows down your business success. It kills business motivation because every step turns into another thing you have to learn. A business owner should not have to become every skill in the business. You need to know what you want built. You need to make the important calls. You need to check the work, but you don't have to do every task with your own hands. If you do, this is going to happen. Here's a quick test. Look at the business ideas you're working on right now and ask yourself this. What part is stuck because I don't know how to do it? So let's say I don't know how to build a website. I can shoot videos, but I might need some help editing. I don't know how to write code. I need some help with design graphics. And I need some help with some more research. Now you can see your list of where you need help. Maybe you don't know how to build a website. Maybe you don't know how to edit videos, but you know how to shoot them. Maybe you don't know how to do drawing or 3D models, product pictures, or you need help with research. That's not a failure. That's getting the right people to do the work for you so you can manage the ideas and the direction your business is going in. Don't turn every missing skill into a new school of something you need to learn. Sometimes the faster move is to find someone who already knows how to do that part and is a professional at doing it. I had to learn this the hard way. Years ago, I had a product idea I wanted to build. I thought I only had one choice: go back to school and learn how to code it myself, because it was a software project. I talked to a relative who was already a software developer. He asked me one simple question. Would you rather spend time learning to write code or designing products? That stopped me because I already knew the answer. I wanted to design products. I wanted to think through how they should work. I wanted to test them. I wanted to make changes and then manage the build. Then he helped me see something I had not seen before. My job did not have to be doing every part. My job could be deciding what needed to be built and managing the work. That was a big change for me. I started with a small project. I hired a developer. I explained what I wanted. I tested the work. I gave changes. The project got done because I hired the skills that I needed. Since then, I have worked with freelancers on hundreds of projects. And that first lesson is still with me today. Don't do everything yourself. Be the one to design and manage. Find the right skills that you need to build the products that you need or the services you need. It's faster to learn how to hire the right help than it is to learn every skill yourself. Okay, step 1. Pick one business idea. Not 10, just one. This sounds simple, but it's where a lot of people get stuck. They think searching for the next business idea because a new one always looks better than the hard work in front of them. So here's what I want you to do. Write down your top business ideas, then cover all but one. For that one idea, finish this sentence. I help this kind of person solve this problem so they can get this result. That's it. If you can't say what that idea does in one simple sentence, don't spend money on it yet. Keep working on the idea until it's clear. A good business idea does not have to sound fancy. It has to help someone with something that they care about. This is the big part of how to start a business. You do not start by doing 100 things. You start by getting clear on one person, one problem, and one result. One idea, one customer, and one result. Here's another thing I want you to remember. Business motivation is strongest when you can see progress. If you're planning and planning and planning, you can actually plan yourself into doing nothing and having no results. Yeah, you do have to do some planning. Don't overdo it. Plan yourself to this point, to a build. That's progress. You will feel more excited from one real page, one real product sample, or one real customer than you will from a folder full of 50 ideas. Step 2. Check if people want it before you spend a lot of money on building it. This matters more than how much you love your idea. I have one simple rule. Do your homework first. Look for proof. Is somebody buying what your idea is already? Have people made complaints in the reviews about other people's products? Do they have questions? What about the price? If you can find complaints that you can solve about another product and make some product better that's similar to your idea, add it to it. If they have questions that go unresolved, add it to your product. Fix that problem. Answer their questions in your product. Be sure to always look for proof. Are people buying something like this now? Are they complaining about a problem that your idea could fix? Are there reviews, comments, searches, videos where people are asking the same questions? What are people paying now? Can you build or sell your version and still make enough money for your business to work? Look at Amazon reviews, YouTube comments, Google search results, competitors' pages, and groups where your customers spend time on the internet. Do not look for one person who says, "That's a great idea," which usually comes from family. Look for a pattern. One nice comment is not proof. Repeated buying, repeated questions, and repeated pain are much better proof. Here's the mistake I don't want you to make. Do not hire a great person to build the wrong thing. A skilled freelancer can build a bad business idea very well. That does not help you. It just helps you waste money faster. So before you hire, ask yourself, what do I know? What am I guessing on? What is the cheapest way to learn the answer? Maybe the next step is not a full product. Maybe it's a drawing, a simple page, a short video, a mock-up, or a test. Spend to learn, not just to build. Step 3, Break the business idea into clear jobs. Build my business is not a job. Build a one-page website from this outline, that's a job. Edit 5 short videos from these files, that's a job. Make 3 product drawings using this size, that's a job. And that is the difference. Big ideas feel hard because all the work is mixed together. So start with the result and ask, what has to exist for this to be done? The product may need research, drawings, a model, a sample, packaging, pictures, instructions, and a sales page. And remember, packaging is not just for a physical product. There's also virtual packaging, so your product looks great on a website. A service may need an offer, a booking page, an intake form, emails, and ads. A content business may need scripts, filming, editing, thumbnails, posting, and a place to send viewers. The business idea gets easier when the hidden work becomes a list of clear tasks that you can get accomplished. Now match each task to the skill it needs. Design goes with the designer. Video goes with an editor. Code goes with a developer. Research goes with a researcher. Do not hire a person just because they say they can do everything. Look for proof that they can do exactly the kind of work that you need. Hire for the task that's directly in front of you. That simple step can save time, money, and a whole lot of headaches. Step 4. Decide what work can stay with you and what work can move to somebody else. High value, that should stay with you. Customers, product, direction. Stuff that can move to somebody else is support and low value work. Stuff that you don't want to spend your time on because you'd rather focus on the direction or your product or your customers. I use a simple way to look at this. The high value work, support, and low value work. High value work is the work that moves your business forward. Things like understanding customers, making product choices, deciding what to build, and setting the direction of your business. Support work keeps things moving. Now, low value does not mean the work is not important. It means the work may not need your constant attention. That's the big difference. If all of your time is taken by work other people can do, you lose time to think, you lose the time to plan, you lose the opportunity to talk to customers, improve the offer, and make better choices. That's the real cost of doing everything yourself. You lose chances, you lose focus, you lose speed. So look at what you did last week. Emails, fixing files, resizing pictures, editing videos, updating pages, research, planning, customer work. Put each task in one of these 3 groups. Then ask, which one of these could I explain clearly and test with somebody else? Start there. Don't try to hand off your whole business in one day. Remove the bottleneck one at a time. Step 5, explain the work clearly. This is where a lot of hiring goes wrong. The owner says, I need a website, make it look good. That's not going to explain it well enough. Tell the freelancer what you need built and what the final results should do. Show examples, share files you already have, give the size, the format, and the deadline, and anything else they need to know. I also like to use screenshots and screen capture videos. They love that. A 2-minute video can save 20 messages and get the point across clearly. So in the video it says, click here, and this is what happens now. This is what I need it to happen, and so on and so forth. If you have a video that shows that or screenshots that can portray that, the clearer you are, the less guessing you have to pay for. Then start small. Don't give a new person the keys to the whole business. Give them one real task. Watch how they talk with you. Do they ask good questions? Do they follow the directions? Do they tell you early when there is a problem? Do they meet the time that you gave them? Do they give you the final files that you need? The first job is not only about the work you get back, it tells you if this is someone you want to hire again. Small test, real work, do a clear check, then decide if you want to rehire them. That is how you build a workbench or a team bench. Test some of the freelancers in different categories of work that you need. The ones that do awesome jobs, keep them as your favorites so you can hire them again and again to do the task you know that they'll do a professional job at. Now your business idea starts becoming real. You picked one idea. You checked if people want it. You broke it into tasks. You kept the work that needs to be yours, and you hired help for the right parts. Now you build a first version. And here's the part a lot of people miss. The first version is not the finish line, it's the test. Once something is real, people can react to it. They can click it, buy it, ignore it, ask questions, and tell you what is confusing. That is useful information. Don't take it personal. That information is actually going to help you make your product better. Your idea in your head cannot teach you much. A first real version can. So build, test, learn, fix, then do it again. That is one real path to business success, not one giant perfect move. A lot of small, smart moves where you learn and get better. This is also how business motivation becomes useful. Do not wait to feel ready. Pick the next clear step. One page, one call, one test, one small project. Motivation grows when you can see the work moving. Do it today. This is why I wrote Hire Freelancers, Build Faster. I wrote it for people who have business ideas and are tired of thinking how they have to learn every skill before they can move. I have used freelancers for more than 20 years on software design, marketing, 3D work, and many other things. The big lesson is simple. Your job is not to do everything. Your job is to get the right things built. In the book, I show you how to prepare a project, write a post, explain what I want, protect the work, check the people who apply, compare them, handle problems, and rehire the great ones. Decide, explain, manage, and check the work. The goal is not to make you hand over your business to someone else. The goal is to help you build with the right help while you stay in charge of the direction. Before you go looking for another list of ideas, answer these 3 questions. What needs to be built? What skills does it take? Who can perform that faster than I can learn it from ground zero? Then take one step today. Write the 1-sentence idea, read 10 customer reviews, make the task list, write the first project brief, and stop collecting business ideas and start building one. And if you want the full step-by-step system that I use, get my book, Hire Freelancers, Build Faster, and we'll see you with awesome content in the next video.